What's going on, Chill Army? Deondre and I've here, and today we're going to be doing a different video other than my Pokemon anime episode reviews, or my Pokemon biology episodes, or my Pokemon like Gold and Silver Adventures episodes, or any Pokemon gameplay. Today we're going to be doing a tier list style video. I know these are kind of dead now, the whole ranking things through a tier list is kind of dead, but I'm bored, and I felt like doing some hot takes on Pokemon. So today we are here to rank every single cross-gen evolution Pokemon, cross-generational evolution Pokemon. So you guys are probably wondering, what does a cross-gen refer to? A cross-gen Pokemon pretty much refers to a Pokemon that was introduced in like a newer generation, but evolved from a Pokemon from an older generation. So think the Generation 4 Pokemon, like Magmortar, which evolves from a Generation 1 Pokemon, Magmar, or, Electavire evolving from Electabuzz, who was also introduced in Generation 1. So that's pretty much what it refers to. So I'm basically going to be ranking them, from S tier all the way to the D tier, pretty much. So, let's just get right to it. Also, let me go over what each tier pretty much refers to. So, of course, we have the S tier, which pretty much refers to my favorite Pokemon, my favorite cross-gen Pokemon. These are Pokemon that I personally love and have some sort of personal connection to, whether it be by their design or experience through playthroughs or whatever. A tier are Pokemon that I generally like. They're not as much as I like, not as much as I like the S tier Pokemon, but, for the most part, I have no general problem with them. I just don't like them as much as the S tier Pokemon. B tier Pokemon, these are Pokemon that I regard as great. I think that me, along with other people, can all agree that these are good Pokemon. C tier are just Pokemon that are just meh. I don't generally have a problem with the Pokemon. It's just, they're either forgettable or I just don't really care that much for their designs. D tier, these are Pokemon that I dislike, but this doesn't mean that I hate the Pokemon. It's just, maybe it's like it's a design choice that I'm not really a big fan of, or it's a general just like gameplay experience that made me not really like this Pokemon as much. Any minor detail that might stem me from truly liking these Pokemon. So, yeah, and there's no F tier because I don't really hate any Pokemon. I'm not someone who just has like a most hated Pokemon list like most people do. I generally have something that I like about every Pokemon, so that's why it only stops at the D tier. So, yeah, let's get right to it. So starting off this list, we have the Johto cross-gen evolution, since Gen 2 was the first generation to introduce this feature, starting with Crobat, which is a Pokemon that I, along with many people, generally like. I mean, it's a cool design. There's nothing really wrong with the Pokemon, honestly. Honestly, I'm going to put it in the A tier because, Crobat's kind of goated. It went from being one of the most hated Pokemon, Zubat. A lot of people hate how many Zubats you encounter in caves and stuff, to being one of the most generally well-received Pokemon, I should say. Next Pokemon is Bellossom, and I honestly think Bellossom's pretty cute. I wouldn't say it's an excellent Pokemon, because I do know some people who honestly don't really give a crap about it. Maybe this is favoritism for me since I'm a Johto fanboy, but I'm not going to put it in the excellent tier. I'm more going to put it in the B tier because generally most people like this Pokemon. Not everyone, but most people like this Pokemon, and honestly, I have no problems with it. Next Pokemon is Polytone. Now, Polytone is a pretty important Pokemon when it comes to like weather-based teams, thanks to its Drizzle ability. I think it's Drizzle that it has. This Pokemon is not a bad Pokemon and has a pretty pretty likable design. And Misty's Politoed is a well-remembered Pokemon of Misty's, at least I think it is. I remember Misty's Politoed well. But yeah, I'm gonna put it along with the great tier, because most people, oops, that's a C tier, most people generally like Politoed, so yeah. Now, Espeon and Umbreon, the two the first cross-generational evolutions. Honestly, no one really hates evolutions, so I can't really say. Sorry, my Apple Watch. I'm using my Apple Watch to keep track of the recording, so I was just making sure it didn't just cut off. But honestly, I don't really see myself. I don't really see most people hating them. They're mainly regarded as well likable Pokemon. Espeon, I will put in the A tier along with Espeon because they're both generally well-designed Pokemon, and honestly, Umbreon is a little more well-liked than Espeon, but, they're both generally well-liked, they're both generally well-liked, you have your Espeon fans on the left, and on the right, you have your Umbreon fans, so I think they're both deserving of the A tier. Now, next Pokemon is Slowking. Now, me personally, I'm going to start with the Johtonian one first, since that's the first one that was introduced. Don't know why the Galarian one is in front of it, but it's a fine Pokemon. I mainly don't really care for it that much. It exists. I don't have any problems with it per se. It's just, it exists. I'm aware that it exists. It's just, I don't really care much for the Johtonian. And I don't care much for the Johtonian one, but for Galarian I almost said Slowking, Ice type regional variant for Slowking, confirmed in Generation 9. I actually really like this Pokemon. Yeah, I'll put in the A tier because, I don't like it as much as I like Galarian Slowbro, but, I did use it for a bit in the Crown Tundra, and honestly, it's not bad, and it also, I've used it in some competitive battles, and it's actually really good, so I'm gonna give it an excellent tier. Alright, Steelix. This is another Pokemon that most people don't really have a problem with. Yeah, Gen 2 has its fans. Steelix is a Pokemon that's pretty well liked. I'm probably gonna put it in the great tier because I wouldn't really say it's a favorite of mine because I've seen it a little too much. So I was gonna put in the A tier, but I've seen it a little too much. I'm not gonna say it's overrated because it's definitely not, but it is a quite popular Pokemon. It's one of the coolest. They made Onix into a really cool Pokemon. I'm going to put it in the great tier along with Blossom and Politoed because, most people generally like it. Let's go with Scissor. Everyone loves this Pokemon. I love this Pokemon. It's not a favorite of mine. But Scissor was one of the first Steel-type Pokemon in the games, and I feel like they did a pretty good job of making this a well-liked Pokemon. There's a reason why so many people use this thing on their teams as well. So I'm personally gonna put it in the A tier because, again, most people like this Pokemon. Okay, let's see. Kingdra. I'd say Kingdra is... Most people like Kingdra. Yeah, I'd say most people like Kingdra. I don't have any personal problems with it, so I'm gonna say, me along with most people think it's a pretty decent design. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, no, I'm gonna leave it in the B tier, mainly because it is, the first dragon type other than Dragonite in the games, and I used to not really care for this Pokemon because I'm like, why is it a dragon type? It really shouldn't be. And then I found out the lore in Japan. That sea dragons, the Japanese name for sea dragons, or not sea dragons, for seahorses, it basically translates to child, the child of a dragon or something like that. So yeah, because baby dragons or whatever. It's because in in some Japanese folklores, sea dragons are perceived as, I keep calling it a sea dragon because, you know, it is based off of a leafy sea dragon, but generally seahorses are, like in folklore, regarded as like baby sea dragons. So, yeah. In fact, that's literally what the Japanese name for seahorse literally is, baby dragon. So, yeah, I mean, I pretty much like the Pokemon, and plus it has a cool, and it also taught me a cool fun fact about seahorses, so there you go. Let's see. Porygon 2. Now, this Pokemon, we've seen this Pokemon. We've seen OU. We've seen what Eviolite Porygon 2 can do in the game. So I am going to generally put it in the excellent tier because this Pokemon does kick butt in competitive. I've used this Pokemon a couple times. I generally like its design. I love everything about it. Hitmontop, it's fine. I mean, it's a fine Pokemon to me. I don't generally dislike it. It's fine. It's fine. Now, Blissey, the first D tier Pokemon. Now, I am personally not that big of a fan of like Pokemon where their whole point is to basically stall you, because Blissey has so much HP and it's mainly more of like a status ailment kind of Pokemon. Like it uses toxic on you, and then it just spams soft boiled for the rest of the battle unless you have a physical attacker that can just like one or two shot it. But yeah, Blissey don't really have that much of I don't have a well-received opinion on this guy because it is kind of annoying when it comes to competitive battling and stuff like that. Roserade, oh yeah, I forgot. Generation 3 didn't have any cross-generational ones. We just went straight to Gen 4. Roserade, I'd say it's a great Pokemon. It has a pretty great design. A lot of people like this Pokemon. You know, I personally don't have any problems with it. I'd say it's a great Pokemon. It's a B tier. Ambipom. Now, here's my first hot take. In my tier list. I'm putting you, if I can move my mouse correctly, I'm putting you in the S tier. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? You like Ambipom more than Crobat? Now, listen. Most of my opinions on Generation 4 Pokemon come from how they were portrayed in the anime. Now, I was a big fan of Ash's Apom. I thought it was a cute monkey Pokemon, one of the best monkey Pokemon ever. And I thought that the whole ping pong thing, that whole ping pong arc with Ambipom and how it went with that freaking dude, basically the dude stole Dawn's Ambipom. I thought Ambipom was done dirty in the anime. This is the most done dirty Pokemon. Like, this is the Pokemon that's been done dirty the most in the anime, besides Typhlosion. Because, I mean, let's be real, Typhlosion is such an awesome Pokemon, and it's only had, like, what, 4 appearances in the anime? That is a crime in of itself. But we're not here to talk about starters. We're here to talk about Ambipom alone. And I, for one, think that Ambipom was done dirty. And a lot of people mainly don't like its design, mainly because of its weird nose, its weird smile, its weird face, and stuff like that. But honestly, this is what I imagine what an Apom evolution is like. So, yeah, Ambipom is a part of the Deondre 7 Chill Army clan, okay? Another Pokemon that I actually really love, it's my favorite ghost-type Pokemon of all time, Mismagius. Now, this is another Pokemon that most people don't even have a problem with, honestly. A lot of people actually really like the design of this Pokemon. One thing I love about Mismagius is the color scheme, because this is a good shade of purple. Also, Mismagius, it doesn't just look like a witch, you can also perceive it as a little bit of like a warlock or a witch, which means it's a very gender-neutral Pokemon. You know, you can perceive it as a witch or a warlock. It's really up to you. And honestly, you know, I like the whole approach of like Murkrow and Misdreave as being counterparts, and how they both evolve into Pokemon that are somewhat, you know, lizard and witch themed. But honestly, I feel like Mismagius you know, Miss Maggie's kind of portrays the whole role a little better than Honchkrow. So, you know, of course, if you ask me who I prefer over the 2 version exclusives, Miss Magius 100%. And, yeah, it's one of the 2 Ghost-type Pokemon, or 2 or 3 Ghost-type Pokemon that I generally consider favorites of mine. So, yeah, Miss Magius, y'all. Honchkrow, as much as I am more of a fan of, like, I think that Miss Magius brings out the whole, like, wizard, witch, fantasy role better. Because, you know, Honchkrow, you know, it isn't just based on, like, a wizard due to, like, it's, like, wizard beard. It also has, like, it's more based on, like, a mafia boss. I mean, hence Honcho, because Honcho is, like, the boss of the mafia, or whatever. So, yeah, I kind of like that a little more. I'm going to put it in the excellent tier, because as much as I am not that big of a fan of, or not, it's not that I'm not a big fan, it's just like, you know, as much as, like, the cool, like, Honcho scheme, it's not really a favorite of mine, but it is still a cool design. It is still a pretty cool design. Weavile, another well-received Pokemon. Let's see, where would I put you? I like Sneasel a little better. I like Sneasel better design-wise, but Weavile's still a pretty cool Pokemon, so, I mean, A tier, there's really not much to say about it. I mean, Weavile is one of the first Pokemon I've ever seen in the anime and stuff like that. And I honestly don't really have that much of a negative opinion on it, so Weavile. Magnezone is goated. Magnezone is goated. I'm putting you in the A tier. It's a cool, like, I love how it went from, like, a typical magnet Pokemon, and it's not just based on a magnet now, it's also based on, like, like, the concept of a UFO, and I think I've always been fascinated with, like, UFOs and stuff like that. You know, I'm a sci-fi kid. I love science. I love science fiction. Anything that has to do with science, I love it. Unless it's, like, physics or some crap, then screw that. But mainly for, like, you know, like, science fiction stuff, or, like, you know, animals and stuff like that, I love it. So I do like the UFO design of Magnezone. And also, I just saw the movie Nope, like, the other day. The new Jordan Peele movie with, like, that, like, with the UFO that's, like, killing everybody. So that's kind of inspiring me to put it on this list, because my love for UFO type things. Also, if you guys haven't seen Nope, I suggest you do watch it. I'll be honest, I didn't really watch it, but I've seen like other people's, like, reaction videos of it. But that's a discussion for another story. Licky. I'm gonna be honest, this Pokemon didn't need to exist, D tier. I'm sorry, I just don't care for it. It's not that I hate it, like most people do. Like, I know a lot of people generally dislike this Pokemon, because, you know, Licky was already just a strange Pokemon already. Did we really need to give it? It's literally just a bigger Lickitung. Like, there's nothing that really changes. It's literally just a bigger Lickitung, design-wise. That's my main reasoning for not liking it. And honestly, long story short, this Pokemon just shouldn't have existed. Next Pokemon, I feel like a lot of people agree that this thing shouldn't have been, that this Pokemon shouldn't have existed. But I disagree. S tier. Riperior is a very underappreciated Pokemon. I mean, look at it. It's my favorite ground-type Pokemon of all time. And, I mean, look at it. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just Rhydon, but it has orange rocks on it now, and it's gotten fatter. Riperior, okay. Raichu is just a bigger Pikachu, and has a longer tail. Most people like it. I mean, Ambipom, well, actually, not a lot of people like Ambipom, but what's another Pokemon? All the evolutions are just different colored Eevees, with some design elements to represent their types as well. Come on. Slowking is just a Slowbro with a crown, or not Slowbro, a Slowpoke with a crown. Steelix is just a Metal Onix with a bigger chin. I hate when people bring up that whole point. I know I just said that about Lickitung, but at least all the Pokemon that I mentioned before Lickitung have some type of design element that makes them like different from you know, their pre-evolutions. Riperior is a big difference. I mean, not big difference. Riperior is also a big example of that. Because, you know, it's supposed to be implemented that, like, the protector that's used to evolve Riperior, it's now wearing, the protector has fused with its body, which I think is pretty cool. And it has rock cannons, biological rock cannons on its arms. It shoots rocks out of its hands. How cool can you get? This is literally my dream of like a kaiju monster. I think it's mainly because I'm a big fan of kaiju movies. So when I saw this thing, I was like, this is instant. This can easily be a Godzilla monster if they really like made it more animalistic. Like if the Godzilla like people, if Toho made like a kaiju like this, I can see this thing like going around shooting like rocks from its hands and destroying like whole cityscapes and stuff. That would be so cool. Toho, if you ever come across this video, please give us a new kaiju movie where Godzilla's fighting something that's similar to Riperior. I would totally watch that, please. Another Pokemon that I generally, I don't dislike it, Tangrowth. I'm gonna put you into C tier because, I mean, you just exist. I don't really have a problem with Tangrowth. It just exists, you know? I do like that it's supposed to be kind of like a unidentified, like, vine-covered monster or whatever, but I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't care for it. I just don't care for it design-wise. Electavire, pretty cool design. So I'm going to put you in the A tier. I mean, I do like the more, like, Sasquatch style. They took a Sasquatch and turned it into an electric type, pretty much. I think that's, like, the best decision they've made. A lot of people generally like this Pokemon, too. One of the best cross-gen evolutions of Gen 4. You know, pretty good Pokemon. Next up is Magmortar. Now, Magmar is actually my favorite fire type from Kanto, but honestly, I'm gonna put you in the fine tier because I just like Magmar better design-wise. Like, I get that the only reason Magmortar exists is because, you know, the Elekid and Nagby lines are seen as version exclusives together, so, you know, Electavire, you can't give Magmar an evolution and not give, you know, Magmar. You can't give Electabuzz an evolution and not give Magmar an evolution, because that wouldn't work since they are supposed to be version exclusives. So I'm gonna put Magmortar in the C tier because honestly, out of the two version exclusives, Electivire is just designed way better. I get the whole, like, it's supposed to have, like, arm cannons and stuff like that, which I think is a cool design. It's just the face. It's just the face. I mean, I get it. They couldn't have done more with Magmortar's face because Magmar was already had, like, a really weird face to begin with. But I don't know. It's just, something about it's just weird to me. I don't know why. Togekiss is a well-received Pokemon. Most people like it, so I'm going to put it in the B tier. You know, I don't have a problem with it. I just think, you know, I generally don't have a problem with it. Most people don't have a problem with Togekiss. It exists, you know, it does what it needs to do. Let's see. We have Yanmega. Yanmega is a pretty cool looking Pokemon. Most people generally like it. Some people believe it should have been the first bug and dragon type, which I somewhat agree with. I'm gonna put you not in the D tier, in the great tier. I'm gonna put you in the B tier because most people like this Pokemon. I wouldn't say it's an excellent Pokemon, but you know, I mean, I like the design. I like dragonflies. Dragonflies are one of the coolest animals ever. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Alright, Leafeon and Glaceon, the two Generation 4 evolutions. So, Leafeon, most people like Leafeon. It's probably my least favorite of the Leafeons. It's probably my least favorite of the Leafeons. I don't know. I mean, I know they couldn't have really done more with the design. I do like the cool fact that it was originally supposed to be in Generation 2, but then it got scrapped and then was later used for Generation 4. I mean, I think that's a cool fact. But I mean, at the end of the day, Leafeon, I mean, most people like it, so I'm going to put it into B tier. I do like it to an extent. It's just my least favorite evolution. And second with my least favorite, I think Generation 4 was just my least favorite. The Gen 4 evolutions are my least favorites, honestly. So I'm going to put you guys in the gray tiers. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like all of the evolution designs. I just don't really care for them that much. I just don't really care for these two evolutions. Alright, Gliscor, or as some people weirdly call it, Gliscor, even though it's a gliding scorpion. I don't know why people call it Gliscor. I don't know. That's just a pet peeve of mine. Gliscor is a cool Pokemon. Ash's Gliscor was cool. It's a cool looking Pokemon. A tier. Nothing else to say. Mamoswine. Pretty cool Pokemon again. What the heck did I just click? Pretty cool Pokemon. I like it. I am obsessed with woolly mammoths, and we are apparently working to bring them back from the dead. So, I mean, I do hope to see a mammoth before I pass on to the afterlife. Which, I mean, let's be real. I have time. I'm only 21, guys. Mamoswine, you get to be part of the A tier. Yeah, I like you. Pretty cool. Not coolly, but pretty cool designed Pokemon. Let's see, Porygon Z. Now, I actually also like this Pokemon as much as I like Porygon 2 because I love how Porygon 2 is actually like it actually is the upgrade of Porygon, since, I mean, yeah, it evolves with an upgrade and stuff like that. It's seen as the perfect, like, Porygon. It's the pinnacle of Porygon. But then when you evolve it further into Porygon Z, it's like it's infected with a virus. It's all glitchy. It's supposed to be like a more glitchy version of Porygon 2. So I do like the contrast between the two. So I have to put them equally in A tier. The Porygon line is actually just underrated, and it's so tragic with what happened with Porygon. I really hope that one day that we actually do get to see it come back in the anime. Please. Alrighty, we have Glade. Another Pokemon that I generally like. I do think it's weird, like, torso thing is kind of weird. It looks like it has like a freaking diaper or something. But I mean, for the most part, I think it's cool. I mean, any Pokemon with arm blades is instantly just A tier, or at least S tier, or at most A tier, which for me is going to be A tier. Robopass is another one of my least favorite. Is another one of my least favorite Pokemon. Not really least favorite, but my least favorite, like, cross-gen Pokemon. I mean, this thing looks like Nigel Thornberry. I really have nothing else to say. I just don't really like its design. I get that its mustache is supposed to be like those little, like, magnetic particles that, you know, that you would play with at, like, science fairs or whatever, but other than that, I just don't care. I just do not care for it. Dusknoir, I'd say most people kind of like this Pokemon. I mean, I think it's a B tier Pokemon. I do like that it's based on, like, it kind of has like a whole Grim Reaper kind of style to it. I do like that. Yeah, I'll put it in the B tier. I think it's worthy of the B tier. Let's see, Frostlass. Honestly, most people like this Pokemon. Yeah, most people like this Pokemon. I do like learning about Japanese, like, mythology. So, fun fact, it's based on the Yuki Onna, which is like an ice spirit that died in a blizzard, and it now, like, hunts for it now hunts for, you know, men who are lost in blizzards. So yeah, and they kept that lore and put it into, like, Frostlass's Pokedex, where, like, its favorite, like, prey is, like, male travelers, is, like, you know, traveling men who are lost in, like, snowstorms and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool fact about it. and I always thought that was I always thought the Yuki-Onna is one of my favorite like Japanese like legends, so I'll put it in the B tier because I don't really like it as much as I like Crobat or Gliscor, but for the most part, most people like this Pokemon, so yeah. And then we skip Gen 5 and get right to Gen 6, with the only cross-gen Pokemon being an evolution, which is Sylveon, who only exists to promote the new type. So, I mean, let's be real, we're probably not getting a new evolution unless a new type gets introduced, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, since Fairy type was only made to bring some balance to Dragon type, so I'll put you in the A tier, because I like its design as much as I like Espeons and Umbreons. I mean, I think it's a pretty nifty design. It's a pretty nifty design. Now, we skip to Generation 8 with the most interesting take on cross-gen evolutions, where we get Pokemon who evolve. They evolve from earlier gen Pokemon, but they evolve from the regional variations of those early gen Pokemon, which I think is a brilliant idea, and I think it's a better idea than just having the Pokemon like not be at their full potential in one region, and the reason that, you know, they don't evolve is because the item that's used to evolve them wasn't found in their region or whatever. But I do like Generations 8 style of cross-gen evolutions. So we are going to start with Obstagoon, who for the most part I really like, and I'm currently using one in my Radical Red playthrough with just normal type Pokemon, so I have a little bit of a soft spot for it. I would have put it in a B tier, but because it has come in clutch for me from time and time again, I've generally had a warm spot to it in the A tier. You see how playing a game can, like, using a Pokemon in a game can actually affect your opinion on it? So it's so interesting. Berserker, no, I'm not a big fan of Galarian Meowth in general. Berserker, I mean, it's a fine design. I get what it's supposed to be based on with like the whole Vikings and like the cats that were raised by like Vikings and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just don't care for it. It's not that I don't like the design. It's just I don't really care for it. I think it's a unique design. I mean, I just don't care for it. I just don't care for it. Now we have another personal favorite of mine, and it is Ursula, my second favorite ghost type. I really like this Pokemon because, well, it's about time Generation 2 had some love with regional variants, with, you know, Ursula being one. I know Slowking was also the other Pokemon that had a regional variant, and I know Wooper's getting one, but Corsola is the one I did first. I love Galarian Corsola, and I actually love Ursula. I used to like the Galarian Corsola a little more than Ursula because I could not figure out a strategy to use Ursula, because I decided to be an idiot and evolve my cursed body Corsola into a Perish body Ursula, and I realized like Perish body can really screw over your team, and it wasn't as, you know, bulky, and you couldn't really do much strategies with Ursula as much as you could with its pre-evolution, until I figured out the Assault Vest was a thing, and I maxed out its special attack, and this thing was helping me. This thing has come in clutch in a lot of my competitive battles. Like a lot of my ranked battles, this thing came in clutch, so it has earned a spot in my personal favorites list. Next Pokemon we have is Sirfetch'd, which for the most part I like it. I do like this Pokemon. I'll put it in the A tier because I don't like it as much as I like Ursula, but it is a unique Pokemon. Farfetch'd was overdue for an evolution. I mean, a lot of these Pokemon were overdue for an evolution, but yeah, I like them. Galarian Mr. Rime. It's less creepy than Mr. It's less creepy than Mr. Mime, than Galarian Mr. Mime. I'd say it's a great design, though. It has a great design. I wouldn't say it's a fine. It's not that I don't care for it. And I do like the whole Charlie Chaplin inspiration kind of thing. It's literally designed like after like those like silent, gentlemanly folks from like silent films and stuff like that. Yeah, it kind of has like a Charlie Chaplin vibe to it. I think it is partially based off of Charlie Chaplin, actually. But yeah, that's I don't have a problem with Mr. Rhyme. I think it's a great design. It's a much needed improvement to both Mr. Mimes. Brunerigus, I guess I just haven't really seen it that much in gameplays and stuff like that. It's fine. I wouldn't say it's a least favorite. It's just, it exists. I'm fine with it. But I do like that Generation 8. Again, for the most part, I do like the idea of like the cross-gen evolutions. It's like, you know, it's like a canonical explanation for like why Pokemon like Hoenn, like the Hoenn form of Linoon, or the Jotonian Corsola. It's like reasons for why they didn't actually get evolutions later on. Instead, you know, it's like the lore is more like these Pokemon, there's like more to their biology that causes them to evolve in these regions now with the regional forms and stuff like that. So I kind of like that idea. I kind of like the idea of just giving the Pokemon like these like regional cross-gen evolutions more than just like, I don't know, freaking Weavile just randomly getting a new evolution or something. Alright, next Pokemon we have is Weirdeer. Well, we're starting with the final brackets of the cross-gen evolutions with Hisui from Pokemon Legends Arceus. Probably my favorite game. Yeah, I think it beat Heart Gold and Soul Silver as my favorite Pokemon game. Weirdeer, I like it. Stantler was overdue for an evolution. We finally got it, because one of the critiques of Stantler was that there's just so much more that they could have done with it. And for the love of God, they finally made it a normal and psychic type. Something that we've been asking for literally decades now. We finally have a normal and psychic type Stantler. Although it's an evolution, still counts. Cleavor. I like it. I like it for the most part. A tier. You know, it's not a bad design, and I do like the idea of like it's more of like a primitive version of Scissor, if you really think about it. You know, it's more of like a primitive version of Scissor, like where it uses like stone, like where its body has like stone-like exoskeleton, as opposed to the more modern steel metal exoskeleton that Scissor has. So that's pretty cool. Ursula, I almost said Ursuline. Ursuluna. I love Ursaring, my favorite normal type. But for the love of God, I am not a fan of Ursuluna. Only because of the item that is used to evolve, or just its whole method of evolving. It's just ridiculous. I still have yet to find a peat block in the game. What is up with that Legends Arceus? I just don't like it. I don't like it. Look, I like the design. I like the design aspect of it, but I really want to put it in like at least the C tier or at least the B tier, but because of the fact that it's so hard to get is the reason why it's in the D tier. I do not like it. Stop making evolutions hard to obtain. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of difficulty here and there, but not everything needs to be hard to get just because it's new. If you want me to use your newer Pokemon, Game Freak, if you want me to use your older Pokemon, stop making them so freaking hard to get. Stop. It's unacceptable. No. Anyways, we have Basculegion, and for this tier list, they added both the gender variation. So as we all know, the male Basculegion has the red stripes, and the more teal Basculegion is the female. I like them both. Excellent designs. I always thought there was more, to Basculin. I always thought that there could have been more to Basculin, so I'm so glad that they gave it the evolution that it deserved for the longest while. So Yeah, and I do like how, like, I do like the contrast with the Galarian and Unnovan Basculins, where, like, the Unnovan Basculins, they're only male exclusively, and they're much more hostile towards their foes. They're much more hostile, while Hisuian Basculin, it can be either male or female, and they're more skittish than their Unnovan counterparts. And I also like the lore with, like, the red with the males being more aggressive than the females in the Basculegion species. And because of the fact that my Basculegion in the Pokemon in my Legends Arceus playthrough happened to be female, I'm putting you along with your male counterpart because I like you both. I used to be more of like a fan of like the male variation and the female one, but I like them both after using the female one a lot. Okay. Sneasler, this is a very mixed Pokemon. I'm gonna put you into Find here, because, honestly, I do see the critiques that some people make that it's a little too humanoid. It's a little too humanoid. I do think the concept of Hisuian Sneasel is awesome. It's basically just a mammalian Krogan, really, but I honestly think that Sneasler, I agree Sneasler's too humanoid, but I also agree that it is a pretty cool design, but my problem is, like, it's a little too humanoid for my liking. And lastly, we have the final cross-gen evolution for now, and it is Overquill, the evolution of Hisuian Coilfish. Coilfish is another Pokemon that I think just needed a little bit more to it. It was a very forgettable Pokemon. Even for a Johto fan myself, I occasionally found myself disliking not Basculin. I generally found myself not being a fan of Coilfish, because it was just so forgettable. Like, sometimes if you would ask me to list all of the Pokemon in Johto off of memory, Coilfish is probably the last Pokemon that I think. But thanks to Legends Arceus giving it a cool regional evolution with a excellent shiny, I must say, and a pretty cool evolution. I honestly thought I wasn't gonna like Overquill at first, but I warmed up to it design-wise after seeing it in gameplay for a bit. And plus it has one of the best names in the game. I mean, it's a pun off of Overkill, but it's Overquill. One of the best Pokemon names besides Lechonk. But yeah, that is my opinion. This is my tier list of all of the cross-gen evolution Pokemon. Comment down below if you guys disagree with some of my choices, or comment, let's start a discussion. If I said something that you disagree with, please let me know in the comments and let me know why, instead of just being like, oh, you're wrong, this Pokemon's cooler than you think, or this Pokemon is lame, you're just stupid or something. Like, actually tell me like why you disagree with some of my choices. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want me to do more like tier list videos where I basically just state my opinion on, different aspects of Pokemon. I don't even have to do just Pokemon. I can do also like Pokemon characters. Please let me know in the comments down below, or accidentally like that, smash that like button, as it also really helps me, know if you guys want to see more, and it also helps out the video by being pushed out to the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that, basic YouTube stuff. Also, comment down below, or not comment down below, if you guys are brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon, as I make tons of Pokemon content. It's 100% free also. And be sure to check out all of my other Pokemon content. I make tons of them. I have over 800 to 900 videos now. I mean, I have tons of content to watch. You can marathon a lot of my Pokemon videos. But then again, some of my earlier videos aren't Pokemon related, they're more like reactions and stuff, but I still have videos that you can just marathon for days, maybe even months, maybe years. Okay, maybe not years, but maybe you can probably marathon my whole channel in a month. But yeah, that's it. So I love you all, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Only good, Chill Army.